Crikey, I've started. This is a Victorian. This is Charles Innocent, who was the architect who built this place in 1879. We have a lot to learn from the Victorians. They took a long view of stuff. We don't take a long view of things anymore. We take a very short-term view, but they built for the future. They built things like this. This is Burton Street, a fantastic set of buildings, but they kind of fell into decay. In the 70s and 80s, we stopped investing in stuff and started to make money. Everything was about how much money you could make and how quickly you could make it. So buildings like this stopped being invested in, and the council actually wanted to knock it down. It fell into decay. But the local community said, no, this is a really, really important set of buildings. We don't want it to, we don't want it to go, so they occupied it. A bit like the guys who are occupying places at the moment. So they occupied the building and said they're not going to close it, and they came up with ways of actually keeping it open. They enlisted the help of the aristocracy. Charles came and said how marvellously the poor were managing. I don't know whether you know, but when they decommissioned the Royal Yacht, Queen Elizabeth cried. Something's got to go when your benefits get cut, hasn't it? So Charles came. He wasn't much help. But we got together and we started to raise a lot of money. Don't read all the slide. What this tells you is that we raised £1.5 million. But the important thing is at the bottom, there are 51,916 voluntary hours people put in to help us raise the money. And the whole point was to take this back into community ownership and to bring life back to Burton Street. And Burton Street now is a very lively place. It's full of life. About 2,000 people come here every week. We have 53 different organisations based here. We've got businesses based here. Grin Up North is based here. Strangely, the software that runs the London Marathon is based here. It's a bit weird. We have a lot of disabled people who come, a lot of disabled people who work here. Our motto or whatever is everyone has a part to play, and we really believe that. We employ about 60 people. We have over 200 people with disabilities who come here every week. All our catering department is run by volunteers with learning disability. We employ a lot of people with learning disabilities as well. And it's a very, very lively place. And we're building for the future. We don't receive any grants. So we don't get any support from anywhere. Everything that we do, we're self-supporting. That went very quickly. This is just an example of the different sorts of people. We've got a professional boxing gym here. And that's his car. It's very nice, isn't it? There's money in professional boxing. He changes it every year. Fantastic. But we've got Morris dancers. We've got professional boxers. And everybody who arrives comes here voluntarily. So all the people with disabilities pay to come. They have personal budgets. They choose to come here. And we do music, art, drama, physical activities. We've got a gym on site. We've got a sports hall. There's a whole range of different things go on. This actually turns, well, those are some of the things that go on, as you can see. This is the staff uniform we're trying to introduce. It's okay, but it's a little bit impractical when you want to go to the loo. That's the only difficulty. This half of this room turns into a theatre. We had Cinderella put on here recently, which was a traditional panto. And this slide is the people who've done it. This is a picture. You'll see in the bar there are some pictures of the school when it was a school, and sort of over the years we've taken the same pictures. This is a picture of the group of fantastic people who occupied, took over, and now run this building. Some of them are funders, some of them are people who work here, some of them are local. And the good news is that it's happening everywhere. This isn't just one-off. So this is somewhere else in Sheffield. This is Manor Park. Now in Manor Park in Sheffield, the shops were like this. This is the private sector's idea of a shopping centre. This is what the people on Manor, this is where they used to shop. That's what it looks like now, because local people took it over. They got it off the private owners. It took a long time, but they got it off and they redeveloped it. They raised the money and they now own it. So in this recession that we have now, the shops aren't closing down because they belong to local people. And it's not just shops and it's not just buildings. All over the country, people are taking stuff over, and they take over the most unlikely things. So this is a piece of derelict land in Sheffield called Deep Pitch. You may know it. It's near the cemetery. It's behind the cemetery. And local people got fed up with it. It was unsafe. When we actually cleared it, there were 90 derelict, burnt-out cars on it. 90 were taken off. It was a no-go area, really. And the community took it over. And it's not worth anything. You can't build on it because it's undermined. So it's worthless, so it wasn't invested in. The total council spend on this area of land, which is several acres, every year was £30. And it's been turned into this park. And it's a fantastic local resource. It's managed by an organisation called Green Estate, who are another development trust. They manage it, they own it, they look after it. It's got play areas on it. And it's not just some sort of sentimental, non-economic thing. When we're talking about, you know, what's going to happen in the future and taking a long-term view, actually by developing this piece of land, the next slide, because I'm ahead of myself, will show you that there was a plan drawn up to drain it and to use it and to use areas on it to drain the whole of the estate. So instead of ploughing a great hole underneath Prince of Wales Road and building a massive sewer, which would have cost many millions of pounds, what they actually did was they built lots of areas, some of which now are amphitheatres. There are streams that go across this piece of land and drain it naturally. And they saved £500,000 in doing it that way. So there are people all over the country, 600 development trusts, doing this, occupying things. And this is a picture of my dog, because she's cute. And I thought you'd like that. And that's my last slide. So thank you very much.